Welcome to Shop Talk Live, brought to you by Tools Garage. I'm your host, Dave the Car Guy. Join us today as we dive into the world of car care and industry trends. Whether you're an enthusiast or just have a daily driver, we got you covered. Let's kick off today's episode. What's up, everybody? Dave the Car Guy. You know what time it is. That's right, Shop Talk Live. Here with me today is a long-time Tools Garage veteran. You've probably seen him on many of the Tools Garage videos from day one. That's Mr. Francisco Arcega, aka Mastermind. Welcome to the show, Cisco.
Thank you. Pleasure.
So crazy, you were employee number one of Tools Garage, and this is the first time that you're on Shop Talk.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's because he says he's so shy, which is a load of crap. A load of crap. The guy's the class clown at every level. No. So Cisco, you are one of the top mechanics that I've ever had the opportunity to work with. What got you in the field as a mechanic?
Long story short, I had no idea I wanted to be a mechanic at all. I ironically took ROP in high school as a auto diesel mechanic. I had no idea why. And I happened to work on my mom's car, neighbor's car, just little things like oil changes, things like that. And we drove early, just did things like that. Never knew I wanted to be a mechanic. I never did. When I was in high school, senior year, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, I don't know. Out of nowhere, one of the recruits for one of the institutes came in and presented themselves, and I'm like, hey, I'll give that a shot, Yeah. I knew I didn't have the book smart. I didn't consider myself a book smart type of person, and I knew I didn't want to waste anyone's money to go to college because it was just something that I felt about myself. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna learn how to work on cars.
Yeah, trades.
And and my mindset at that time was I'm going to work on cars for 10 years after I go to school because I want to make sure that I take advantage of that, career. Mm-hmm. And I went to school, graduated, got a job. I was working while I was going to school, and 10 years passed, and I realized that I was stuck. I didn't like anything else. So it was just one of those things. It was something that I was good at. I was good at working with my hands. I just didn't have a clue. Nobody ever said, hey, you should be a mechanic.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things that I don't know. It's just weird.
Not everybody is built like us.
Yeah.
Francisco, there's just like you, I didn't really know I wanted to be a mechanic. Mm-hmm. I liked cars. Really, I liked the way cool cars sounded. I had no idea what made them make that sound, but some cars sounded so cool, and I'm like, I want to know how that happens. Mm-hmm. Somebody told me one time, my neighbor early on, they're like, oh yeah, this thing's got a big cam in it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah. A what? Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is. How does that make a difference? Mm-hmm. So yeah, going to school and just high school and seeing that stuff. But not everybody has the same brain to take apart and put together. There's something that's different in literally all of the mechanics that work for Tools Garage. We kind of have a unique way of finding people who have that little gene.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? Crazy.
Yeah.
So you went to work and you were at the dealership for a while, a couple different dealerships if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Then you and I met at an independent shop.
Yep.
What made you go there?
Well, funny. I worked for a lot of dealerships. One of them was the first dealership that took me in was Mitsubishi, which was great. I was the only person that was willing to go to school. They were required to send someone to school, and I was the only one. So I would drive to LA, I would drive to wherever to go to school, and they helped me out a lot as far as diagnosis, right? Then I jumped around because it was a corporation. So I jumped around to Nissan, Subaru, different manufacturers, and then I ended up at Honda in Redwood City. So Honda Redwood City. One of my buddies worked with me for a while, and since Mitsubishi, he ended up working for the independent shop where you used to work, or we used to work, and he referred me to you guys, right, at that time. So I was scared because I had never worked for anyone other than dealers. I was like, man, I don't know, I was just scared to make that decision. But one of the things that helped me out a lot was that I was working for Honda, and the shop that I went to was a Honda specialty shop. So then that helped out a lot. The transition, though, from the dealer to an independent, the first week I noticed it. It was 100% a completely different deal. It was more family oriented. You weren't no longer a number. At dealers, they refer you as a number for the most part. And this place was like amazing compared to everywhere I worked. Not that everywhere else was bad, it was just different. You were considered more. It was nice. It was a happy place, to work for. Yeah. Everyone was happy. So ultimately, from there, I never went back to the dealer. From there, it's just.
It's a misconception. So I also kind of took the same career path. Only I started at an independent. I was at a dealership as a parts driver or whatnot. But my first job as a mechanic, I started off at an independent, just a single, like a one-man shop independent. And I didn't know what my goal was. Like, oh man, I got to get to the dealer so I could I can get there. I want to go there. So I worked at the independent for, I don't know, I think it was 8 years.
Wow.
No, maybe closer to like 5 years, 6 years the first time around. Then I ended up getting the job at the Honda dealership. And I was like, yes, I made it. I made it to the dealer. And it was kind of fun, but you are a number there and you have to make your own paycheck per se, right? It's a little more cutthroat. You have to play nice with people to get the jobs that help you make your paycheck, which is not my fave. I believe in, putting people in the right positions. I mean, I'm kind of like a ball player. Like, if you're good at that, you should go there, and that's what you're going to do, right? Not, well, if you give me some money, I'll put you there. Nah, that bugs me. So the dealership was kind of like that for me.
Flat rate too?
Yes, flat rate, piecework. But it was pretty neat. And then I climbed that ladder inside there to Foreman, and I was writing service and dispatching a couple different days of the week. So I was like 3 different positions there, and I learned, I think, there that I don't like politics at all. I don't, with my indoor voice and indoor facial expressions are not, they don't use their indoor voices. So you can tell what I'm thinking without me saying it. And, I didn't like it. I don't like being part of that. So, that's what made me jump back to that independent that we worked at, because I was scared also. I was like, wow, I'm going backwards That's how I felt. Like I made it to the top, and
Yeah.
now I gotta climb back down the ladder. But at the end of the day, just like you felt when I went in there, I'm like, wow, this is better. This is better. It felt good. That it was a good environment. They did use my strengths a little bit in the beginning, and allowed me to make some changes, that I thought were better, and we ended up with good technicians there. It was a good place to work for the 8 years that I was there. You were there for not quite
04
that.
to 09 maybe?
So yeah, about
09
about
or
5.
so.
Yeah.
About 5 years.
So anyway, the independent was cool. It was good. So when I left there, obviously you never leave a place because you hate your job. You just leave a place because your manager sucks. That's usually why you leave, right? So I left because that's how I felt at that time. And I opened up on my own. Shortly thereafter, I got my first employee named Francisco Arciga. What made you leave the independent to come over and take a chance?
It wasn't more of living the independent. It was more living something that I didn't believe in anymore. I liked my job, but I didn't like going there at that time. There was a lot of negativity, and that right there, I'm a firm believer that it spreads like cancer. It really does. Yeah. I would catch myself almost cursing in my mind, and I said, that's not me. That is not me. I'm not that type of person, and I'm not an aggressor, or I'm not any of that, right? So I just said to myself, I've had it, and that point of my life, you know me, I never call in sick, I never go on vacation, and at that time of my life, I wanted to make a change. And I know that you and we kept in touch. At times I would go to your place and I would ask you what you needed, and sometimes you would say, hey, I need this engine torn apart, and I would tear it apart, or I need this service done. I would get it done after work, right? And then you would come in the morning and just double check everything. So we were in touch. So I decided, I thought about things, and I came up to you and I said, Dave, I want to give my 2-week notice, but I want to go to Mexico. I want to go to Mexico and visit my family. I want to go there for like 3 months. I said, it's great. I just want to go there 3 months and do my thing. And I said, Dave, when I come back, do I have a job? And you're like, well, Francisco, when you come back, if I have work, you have a job. If I have no work, you have a job. And I said, all right, send it. I wrote my letter of my 2-week notice, and the owner didn't flinch, didn't say anything, just said okay. And I was there for my 2 weeks, took off, went to Mexico, did my thing, came back, and the rest is history,
Yep.
So it was just
Timing was right.
Timing was perfect.
Yeah.
The timing was perfect. We didn't know what was coming to us, but we made it. We made it happen.
Yep. Yeah. There was a point in my career there where, man, it felt good because we were doing well there. I know, especially because I know what I know now. I know we were doing well financially at the shop, but the ownership, I think, needed more because they may not have been as good at managing their money, which basically made it harder for us to, be happy with our success and grow, because now it was more forced, more forced. It wasn't like, hey man, if there's more on the table, we're gonna give you more. Not it was just we need some more on the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimately.
And then they were nitpicking. So a lot of stuff that you probably didn't know, or because you were in the shop and I was not, when they would come out and freak out on the technicians, you know, clean this or do that. Man, you know how many times I went up in their office privately and dropped the hammer like, look, I appreciate what you're giving to us. But if you have a problem with the shop, you come and you kick my ass, because I'm going to stand up and I'm going to take it and I'm going to give some back to you. But when you go out there and do that, it makes my job so much harder because now they do not want to work for you. So
Yeah.
bring it to me, because I will battle you as long as you got to know it's coming. I'm going to give you some back. And that was, I think that was the beginning of the end. It's like they didn't want any of that.
Yeah.
So that's that whole feeling. I was pretty miserable going in. Like I didn't want to work, and I'm a worker, so it's really doesn't feel good when you don't want to go work. I don't know. It's not something I ever look forward to, because I don't think, like, when people tell, oh, when you're gonna retire, what are you gonna do? You know, beach. I'm like, no, no. I'm gonna be doing something.
Yeah.
I am a worker. I can't help it. I think it helps keep you. Everybody I know who is retired and is a worker, man, they still look good. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. I want to look good. I don't want to be feeble and brittle and sick because I don't do anything.
No, you don't want
that's
that.
not me.
I agree.
So yes, San Francisco jumped on board. That was 2010. Mm-hmm. 2010, late 2010. For 1 year in business, and I knew you were coming. I had a 3-month head start. I said, okay, I gotta load myself up to see what I can do. So I really crammed it in. It was very stressful, because when you were still in Mexico, I was like, oh my God, he better come, because I'm doing 2 man's worth of work right now. So yeah, it worked out. When you came back, it was perfect timing. We were ready. The weird thing about growth in business, and this might be something for our video team as well, when I hired you, it was like, this was overwhelmingly busy. I don't even remember driving home every day. It was just, I was there at home going, holy shit, I'm home. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, did I tighten that? Did I do this? Did I do that? And the answer was always yes, because I have a weird little system. But it was scary-ish, right? Yep. And then when you came on board, you were only focused on working on the cars.
Yep.
Whereas I was working on the cars, writing the service, calling people, marketing, doing the bookkeeping. So all of a sudden, you're doing all the work that I was doing, which literally left me in the beginning with no car work to do. And I was like, oh shit. Is this going to support both of us? Oh my God, I need to get more cars in here, because I got to be working on some cars too. Yeah. So that was a whole weird shift. It went from, I was so busy that I was freaking out a little bit, to, oh shit, I have nothing to do. Mm-hmm. Because the amount of work that I was doing, you were doing. Yep. All of it. And I'm like, oh man, this is a trip. So anybody who's starting off, when you hire your first employee, get ready. You need to ramp up something, especially if you're part of production. Ramp it up, because as soon as you get somebody who only does the work, you will have nothing to do. And it's scary. Mm-hmm. It's scary. So, God, how many years has it been now, Francisco? It's a blur.
Almost 14.
Is it?
This September is going to be 14.
14 for you?
Uh-huh.
So 15 years for me, 14 years for you. Mm-hmm. Holy crap. Mm-hmm. Time flies.
Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Francisco's hair shaved, long, shaved, long, shaved, long, middle, middle short, all kinds of different ways. How do you do it? How do you just
Once
end
you
up with
get
long
past,
hair?
once you get past the where it kind of like tickles you,
I hate it.
it's fine. You know what though? You put some water over it when it's hot. Oh yeah, cools you down good.
I hate it, man. I hate it. I tried to grow it a little bit. I used to have the old school mullet back in the day, where it was a little bit long in the back, and dude, your hair comes up, tickles your ears. It feels like spider webs. I can't do it. I don't like it. No, don't like it. So, Francisco, the roles that you've had through this company, you're a top tier foreman level guy. What keeps you on your toes? Because this industry is so dynamic. Stuff changes all the time. How do you stay on top of it? Because that's a task.
I would say, you learn from mistakes. The different positions that I had over the years, there are things that you have experience that you may not like. People quitting on you, for example, things of that nature. Accepting the responsibility, accepting the reasoning on why they quit, and if it's you, you learn from that. Mm-hmm. You really do. I would say, as far as keeping up, a lot of it has to do with what you do every day, the hands-on, the different types of vehicles that come in. Back in the days, we just worked on Hondas, so we knew where everything went.
Yeah.
Right there and then, you saw a weird bracket, you know where that bracket went.
Yep.
You would probably install it with your eyes closed if it was under the exhaust or whatever, right? Yeah. Well, when we started working on every single car line, and again, this was back in the days.
Because of hybrids.
You see everything, yes. You see everything, you see different scenarios, you see different weird things. We also go to take classes, different types of classes. So you stay up by practice. You up to date with practice, and sometimes you watch videos, and out there's fake videos, but you can confirm them by checking it out. You go to the vehicle, oh, sure enough, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, it's hands-on, what you do every day.
Yeah.
Conversations that you have with clients, expectations that clients may have, and you have promised a certain thing. As long as you update them, if something went south, you update them. A lot of times that's great, but ultimately it's one of those things. Learn by mistakes.
Yeah. Stay up on your craft, and fail fast, fail better. Mm-hmm. So you've had many roles in the company Tools Garage. There are other roles in the future that, as we grow, get to be absolved by, preferably by people who already work for us. Mm-hmm. So we've already had some of our stores have had people who have moved up a position, and then we've had to move them back down because they weren't quite ready. You one of them. Mm-hmm. But you've got a chance to learn what's at that level. Sometimes it's a matter of, that level sucks. Mm-hmm. I'll never want that again. Yeah. Or it's, what? I liked it. And now that I'm back in my prior role that I'm a rock star mm-hmm. at, I can see some of the things that make sense now. So the next go round, boom, I'm ready for it. But the thing about the way that we operate is, we truly believe in that. It's called the Peter principle. Have you heard of it?
I don't think so.
So what happens is, let's just say you take a guy like me. I'm a really good technician, right? Mm-hmm. Good automotive technician. And then you're like, wow, you're doing so great. You know what? I want to move you to service advisor. If I wasn't good at that role, it would be an awful move. Yeah. I would be struggling because, I really never liked to talk to people a lot anyway. Mm-hmm. So it just happened to be, I only became good at it because I went out on my own per se. But like I would get moved to this role and I would be struggling, start to hate it, start to feel bad, hate going into work or not do a good job, and then get canned. When in fact, I am a rock star right here.
Yeah.
So it's hard to want to go backwards or step back down, but you have to also find that and understand that happens everywhere. Yeah. All kinds of companies, they promote until they're gone because they suck at this role. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And instead of having them get to that role or not get to that role, you could put them in the role that they thrive. They're rock stars, happy, and then figure out what other things do you want to tackle while staying in your rock star role. You know, that's the Peter principle, is the next level up to your advancing to the next level of incompetence.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a
messed up way.
Thing. It's a thing, right?
Yeah.
So we try and really focus on that. It's not a fun thing because we've had not just in your role, but in our St. Carlos location, we've had to do the same thing. It sucks. It sucks as your leader to have that conversation. Sucks as the person receiving the conversation because you're like, "Fuck, man, I'm doing good. I'm kind of doing good." It's terrible all the way around, and usually doesn't work because people are like, "Well, F that, I'm out." And I think that because we do at Tools Garage, we just try and be as open as we can. Like, look, man, like in St. Carlos, look, we value what you're bringing to the table, but here are the things that this is not your wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. This is where you're struggling, and this is where we've been training. It's not working. Let's put you back in your wheelhouse so you can just, get your groove back on, and then maybe you'll start to see if somebody else is in that role and maybe they are doing that job right, you can pick it up, or if they're doing some of those things a little bit wrong and our team's correcting it, and you're like, I see what the ripple effect is of that now. It makes sense because now I'm not focused in on it, right?
Yep.
So I know that's happened several times in the company, and we've retained most everybody who we've had to put back into their rock star role, which is good. But we do try and keep everybody ready for advancement. But you just got to know, hey, what I struggled on, I need to get better at. That way, when I do move back up there, that's not conversations that we're going to have.
100%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the working on the cars, though, even though I don't get a chance to do that hardly at all anymore. I still get to build some stuff, but not even really. I miss the car stuff a little bit. So, I know at some stage you want to, manage a store and do all that, which is a whole totally different job mentally. Mm-hmm. How do you I could see the happiness in your face working on the cars. How do you feel like if we had to make a move again to bring you back up, will you miss working on the cars?
There's a lot of joy being able to mingle with clients. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of great things being able to help out clients and guide clients. When I made that transition, well, a lot of it has to do with zero experience at the counter. Mm-hmm. But when I made that transition, I was happy. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
When I came back to the shop, little by little, I was just amazed on some of the things that I was able to figure out with ease just by experience.
In the shop.
Mm-hmm. So there are things that you forget about. You forget that you have so many years of experience that you can just go out there I mean, I'm telling you, weird things, you know? You can just go out there and just see something and be like,
Yeah. That's your rock star role.
it's right there, right?
That is your rock star role. That's why. Right?
Although when I was up in the front, I was able to assist or, hey, did you look into this or whatever the case may be, it was fun. So I would say, yeah, I missed it. But at the same time, I did not miss the weather.
Yeah.
You know, being
Yeah.
outside on the
Working
elements. At the same time, either way, I was happy.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, it takes a lot for me to be uncomfortable. It takes a lot. So once I get up, I get in the shower, man, I'm awake. I'm
Yeah.
ready to go.
Yep.
I don't know. I can't stay still.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to go and I do my
Yep.
thing.
Worker.
So ultimately, whatever position I'm needed, I'm the type of person that goes like, okay,
Yep.
you know what, Francisco, we need to go back to the shop for a little bit, temporary or whatever. Let's do it.
Yep.
You know, do you prefer
Yeah.
it? I don't know yet, but
Yeah.
let's do it. Yeah.
Well, like I said, that is your rock star role. There is no question. That's why you are able to vacate that, go back to it, and see things that you were already doing by second nature that you're now aware of.
Yeah.
Because that's what you were doing anyway. Second nature. That's your rock star role. So, knowing that, anything above that is going to take it's going to take training, just like just all the years that you took in the as a tech, for example, like that we have. That doesn't apply anymore,
Yeah.
right? It's all something new. So I just had a conversation yesterday with our new hire in Stockton. I said, look, the reality is, mechanics, when we were mechanics, we would watch videos or read weird stuff or watch TV and it was always like car stuff. There's like turbos and, you know, weird stuff. We're constantly enhancing what we know, our rock star role. And as service advisors, what do? And this guy's like, I don't know. We would, I guess, go to a training class. I'm like, yeah, if somebody sends you to training class, but as service advisors, nobody's going out there and finding their own training class. They're not practicing at home. They should be, right? That's how you get better. That's how you become a rock star. You know, the whole communication between mechanic and client and reading repair orders and, you know, making sure we're getting the right stuff on the orders and the estimates, it takes practice. And the time to practice is not at game time.
Yeah.
You know, I told him, I said, look, I played some sports and I would practice at home, like certain moves, you know, to, you know, make sure I didn't get whacked, you know, when I'm playing football or baseball, over and over, just making sure my hand's going the right way to catch the ball in however it's coming at me. You can't do that game time.
No.
Because you're going to take one right in the face or whatever it is, right? Oh, try to do something new. No, dude, you got to do what you bring to the table game day, what you know, what you're rock star at. If you're not rock star at it, practice, then bring it to the table. That's a service advisor's world that they don't tap very much. The ones that do, you notice
Makes sense.
who they are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you moved up here, Valley Springs, when we opened up our shop up here. How do you like it up here?
Love it.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about Valley Springs?
Man, I stay busy after work. I'm always busy. Weekends, busy. We're always out and about. Just scenery, everything's good. We have some properties over Mountain Ranch area.
Yep, higher up in the hills.
It's just, man, we stay busy clearing out the road and just camping and doing stuff like that. We've never gone to the lake yet, because we're just out there by ourselves, private. Kids are having fun, so it's just weird. But the people in Valley Springs, man, it's something else. Everybody is nice. Everybody's, says hello. You go to A's, you go wherever you go. People are great. Small town, nice.
Yeah.
I don't see any angry people around here. It's really nice. And in Valley Springs, if you're behind 2 or 3 cars, man, that's traffic.
Right. Yep.
That's I say to my wife, oh man, there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, a lot of traffic.
And we do go to the Bay Area because we do have friends and family, and when we go there, I'm the type of person that I'm like, I get there when I get there.
Yeah.
I don't care if there's a fire, if there's traffic. I know there's going to be traffic.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go there. We got our waters, we got blankets, whatever. We don't care because we already know, you know. So Valley Springs is awesome. I never in my entire life I thought that I would be in a place like this. I grew up rural, very rural, more rural than Valley Springs. And it brings back memories when I go out to the property because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
It brings back memory where we had no electricity, we had nothing, right? So ultimately, it's fun. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Very nice. For me, everything's awesome. When I come to work, our facility is in a nursery. So I hear birds and I appreciate those birds. I sometimes I stop and I kind of listen because you don't get to hear that in the city.
Yeah.
Unless you got a nest next to your window, which we did
right.
back in the days. We had a little nest. So no, Valley Springs is awesome. I like everything about it.
I just the other day had a conversation with one of my friends. We were driving home to my house, and I've lived out here since 2018 now. Well, officially 2020 because we could only come up on the weekends and all that stuff before. But I still, every single day I go home, I'm like, I can't believe I live here. It's like the best. I don't want to go anywhere at all. Like when I go home, I just want to be there. I got the bluff in the backyard. You're right. It's just it's peaceful. It's crazy. Hard to really fathom. But yeah, it's a trip. We went from this really cranking San Carlos shop to come out here and start something new, and be as well received as we've been. Yeah. As we've grown, you have to go over your bumps and bruises, but when we opened up, we just had our core people.
Yeah.
We were rocking it. We were rocking it. Kind of miss the original days a little bit.
They were fun.
Yeah.
Really nice.
When we opened up the third store, it really I don't want to say stretched our core thin, but kind of did, right? So because that requires now we need more quality people, right? We need more quality people to have these same feelings of, success and fun and family and all that stuff. And it's not as easy as you would think to just get somebody, because our trade, for one, is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's outside, physical, and your mechanics are every trade wrapped into one, right? Yeah. We're plumbers, we're electricians, we are IT support, we're fabricators, welders, diagnosticians at every level.
Yep.
And we have to be perfect, because nobody appreciates any mistakes at all that are possibly made. So it's a hard person to find, right? To add to your team. So yeah, we've learned growing has its pains. It has a lot of rewards because we get a lot more people. I mean, there's 30 of us in Tool's garage now, and we've had some events where we're all together, and it's
With the families?
and the families.
Oh,
it's
man.
so fun. So fun seeing everybody, like meeting people, because we're all kind of spread out.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's fun. I can only imagine if we do get a couple more shops under the belt. We have some more, maybe 6, 7, 10 people at each of these new locations. How cool that would be, right? How cool that would be. So, so what do you do for fun, Francisco? I mean, I know you guys go up to the property, hang out with the family. What's like? I know you're building your C20, right?
C10.
C10.
Yeah.
What's going on with that thing?
Oh man. So it's still apart. I have my engine on the engine stand ready to go. That's done. And I gotta rebuild my transmission. I'm going from a 3-speed to a 4-speed. But it's still there. The vintage era, I mocked it up, but I had to take it back out just because it was just mocked. So I can do my dynamat and stuff like that. I'm going mostly for comfort. I'm not going for looks. Under the hood, it's going to be just clean, very clean. I'm doing the entire wiring, and the outside is still going to look two-tone.
Yeah.
The cab is green and the bed is blue.
Yeah,
that's my two-tone.
It's not quite the real two-tone.
So I wanted to get that done this year, but other stuff came up that makes sense to kind of like stop for now. Winter is my weakness. I really get very lazy during winter.
Yeah.
So summer is my strength.
Cold sucks.
Yeah, summer is my strength. I can just put a canopy in front of my garage, so there's not a lot of heat coming into the garage. But
except for this summer.
Yes.
It was like 950 outside.
Yes.
Summer was toasty.
So it's still there, and I'll finish it. I know that by next year, this time, I should have it done. Really, it's not a lot. I just have like the whole front apart. It's not a lot. It's just I'm a little picky when it comes to doing it once. I just want to make it look clean, and that's it, and comfortable inside.
Clean, comfortable,
and that's it. So not a huge project, nothing fancy. It's got some little touches of mine that I've never seen before as far as my engine setup. But it doesn't mean that someone else hasn't done it that way, So ultimately, maybe by this time next year, I should have it. Or even this year, I should have it put together. And then next year, do the final touches, or maybe during the winter.
Yeah, it's amazing. This happens to car guys a lot. We take the car apart, and 6 years later, it's done, right? Or longer sometimes.
The trick is just to have one car apart.
I know.
That's the trick.
That is the trick. And that's where my downside is right now, because I have all these parts I've been buying for my Camaro to get it ready to kind of just go in and boom, 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 boom. And then I got the 68 Suburban, a 2000 Suburban. I chopped it all up. I got this 68 body on the 2000 chassis, and man, my shop is big. In my mind, it was big.
Yeah.
But it is not 2 car projects big. It's very difficult to have both of those things in there. So I'm really trying hard to get the Suburban at least put together enough to where it's kind of cool. I did drive it once to my neighbor's house and back.
Nice.
I'd like to get it probably dialed in, seats bolted in, steering column kind of set up. And
did you use the bucket?
The
bucket as a seat?
No, I actually have the 2000 Suburban seats in there.
Okay.
They're not bolted in, so it's kind of like a bucket.
Yeah.
And then my Camaro, I started doing it when I don't know what possessed me up, but I'm like, you know what? I think I have a week of time where I could spend some time after work and do this and do that and do this. So I started doing my fuel injection on there and all this stuff, and ran out of time. It wasn't even a week. I think it was like a day. But it's I'm shooting for next summer to be able to drive my Camaro again. Because I gotta do firewall work. There's welding and stuff, paint.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sucks, but
yeah.
One of these days.
Let's race without racing.
Yes.
Let's see who gets it done first.
I will.
All right. We'll see.
I have a feeling you will. So cool, man. So Francisco, employee number 1, still going strong. We've seen a lot of changes in Tools Garage. You still see the direction that we're going, which kind of what this is weirdly. We've had conversations of this level when it was just me and you.
Yeah. I remember some of them. When we first started, you were telling me, hey man, pretty soon we're gonna have, imagine we have dental and health,
right.
and I was like, cool, cool. And it happened. And it happened way before Obama. Obama said that, So no, that happened. And everything that we have talked about has happened. And that's what I tell everyone, man, Dave is not a BSer, since day one. Everything he has said has happened in the company. So, a lot of people would ask, hey, how come you don't open your own shop? Because I don't want that freaking headache. I don't want that responsibility. I don't want any of that. I just want to go there, work for someone, do my job best I can, go home, and do what I've been doing for the last however many years I've been married.
Yep.
Go home, do my thing, and my family, my wife, nobody has any idea what goes on at work because I don't take anything there. There's nothing to take.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you love your job and you know what you're doing, and there's nothing to take home.
Yeah. It's fun seeing your family come out because I know that I think they're proud of Francisco, and they come out and they see the workplace and it's kind of nice and it's respectful, and I think that helps them understand, like even if you did bring something home, we know the place, it's solid and whatever. But it's
my little ones. When they first started talking, some of their first words was Tools Garage.
Right.
Seriously. Fernanda, when she was, she would say Tools Garage. Like that was one of her early words.
That's
because,
funny.
My son, he was always like Tools Garage.
Yeah.
And, so no. And she would see, my daughter is 5 years old. And we were at Costco this past weekend. And my brother-in-law has a T100. It's like a 94 T100. So she's at Costco and she starts laughing. And I'm like, what are you laughing about? And she says, that truck looks like Tio Juan's truck. And that truck happened to be a Tacoma, not a T100.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, oh yeah. And she says, it's got the same letters. And I'm like, what? It says Toyota. So it had the same letters. That's how she knew it was like Tio Juan's. So I was like, man, she sees a lot of cars. She'll say, that's like Mama's car, or this is so-and-so. So anyone that comes to the house, she'll know who it is by the cars.
That's cool.
And I'm like, that's cool.
That is
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Nanda. A car girl.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. So it's awesome, Cisco. We've talked about a lot of crazy things that are actually not crazy anymore because we've already done them, and we're working on the next things. There's more stuff down the pipeline, and we just got to keep getting good people that are good. They're good people to begin with, good at their job. Yeah. Because you and I being employee 0 and employee number 1, we work. Mm-hmm. We literally can work circles around people. So it's kind of nice to have that. That's where the drive comes from for the company, right? We work, man, just do the job and do it to the best of your ability, and you'll be amazed at how efficient you can do it.
Yes.
Right? So when we have people that end up not fitting that mold, it shows relatively quickly.
It does.
And we do our best to, let them know, hey, this is the expectations. We're trying to get up to, we're trying to get into fourth and fifth gear, sixth if you got it, because that's what it's going to take for us to all just, rock star it. And some people third gear is good.
Yeah.
And if we can find a role where third gear fits, great. And if the role that we need you in is fifth gear and beyond, then you'll know.
Yeah.
And then we have that conversation, unfortunately. But yeah, it's been a cool ride, crazy ride.
Yeah.
And I will go along with what you said. There's like when I was at the other independent that we were both at. If I look back and I feel like if they operated kind of maybe how I operate a little bit as owners, I probably would have been fine just staying there. I mean, obviously things are totally different now for me in life, but I still think I probably would have been fine and happy just working for somebody, because there's just a different level of there is a different stress level owning the shop, because now you're responsible for everybody's wage instead of just your own. But yeah, it isn't for everybody. We've had some of our teammates have opened up their own, and that's cool. That's good. That means we've done our job.
Yeah.
We made people better, and they're either going to stay or try it. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm not going to stifle somebody to, be bitter because they're going to leave.
No.
It is what it is. Let's leave on good terms. We're all in the same.
Yeah.
We're all in the same industry. We all get the crap kicked out of us just the same. So, but yeah, it is. It's a weird, unique thing to own and grow people. And what you can tell about me is I'm not a fan of being a big fish in the small pond.
Yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable. I like to share what I know, but I don't like to be the biggest thing to share. Like I have all the answers, because I don't. I like to move on to the next level where I'm surrounded by people who are much better than I am, and I get to learn and then pass on.
Yeah.
That I feel better sharing like that, because I feel like I'm getting more real valuable information instead of just what's in my head. I don't know.
Definitely.
All right, Cisco. Well, I was going to make this kind of a quick one, but we didn't, because there's
Let's blame it on someone else.
we can't, because that's not one of our fundamentals. It's practice.
We can't do that.
Blameless problem solving.
Yeah, you're right. We can't do it. Yeah.
No, there's no blame in a high performance company. So, but yeah, I know you got to get back to work, because there's a busy shop up here.
I'm going to lunch. What do you mean?
You going to lunch?
Oh man, look at that.
What are we getting?
No, I'm going home. See, I get to go home.
I know.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
That is pretty cool. So Francisco, it's been awesome having you on Shop Talk. We've done so many other videos, and it was weird this morning. I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? Cisco's never been on Shop Talk. Of all the people, like, you were on the very first Tools Garage video. Do you remember which one that was?
When we did the keyless.
Almost.
Or was it when we went to Home Depot? No.
It was one before that one.
With the truck? When we fired up the truck?
When we fired up the truck engine.
All right.
That was the very first video in
Heck
2010.
Yeah. I love it.
Fired up the engine, sitting on the frame. Scared the crap out of it. So loud.
Yep.
That was awesome.
I remember that
Still
one.
on YouTube. Still on YouTube.
Very cool.
So cool, Cisco. It's been awesome chopping it up with you.
Yeah.
Any last words of wisdom that you could leave some soon-to-be, wannabe automotive technicians out there?
Yeah, I mean, don't be scared, you know. There's plenty of places. There's, if you don't like school, like I thought I didn't like school, there's a trade school. Some shops will probably take apprentices and just get in the field. Get in the field. Get your hands dirty, go work on your mom's broken car and break it even more. Don't be scared, you know. In my early age, I worked on, my sister was my experimental sister with cars, and my guinea pig, her cars were my guinea pig. I fixed them, I sent some to the junkyard. So, hey, don't be scared, just make it happen, just be safe.
Yep.
Be safe, use precautions. Watch YouTube videos. I mean, do your research, Google things. There's tons of information out there for us nowadays, especially if you're a beginner. Hey, I just did my floor of my house and I Googled what materials I needed. That helped me out. Then I called people that did the flooring, and they're like, yeah, just do that. And I was like, perfect. So, you know, some shops are willing to help out young kids. Hey, you know, I'm struggling with this. Do you guys know how to do this? Hey, you guys give me a call on little things like that, on apprentices. If I have time, I'll be willing to spend some time and give you some advice.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've had some interns roll through Tools Garage, and it's fun seeing the kids get excited about, you know, the trades and stuff like that. Some people out there are naturally wired to do what we do.
Yep.
It is not for everybody. It is a great career path, especially in today's world because of economics, supply and demand. There are not enough mechanics out there. So you can almost rest assured you have a job, especially if you have any kind of talent at all. So if you're one of those people that will take stuff apart, fix it, put it back together, or at least take it apart, figure out why it broke, possibly try and fabricate it to get back together, that is a skill set that not everybody has. And you know, there's a career in automotive for that, and they're paid pretty well. They're paid. All of my technicians are paid way better than I was as a technician. That I will tell you. And that's kind of exciting, you know. It's well deserved, well worth it, and about time. So, all right, everybody, we're gonna wrap it up. Francisco, awesome having you on the show. Yeah. And I'm Dave the Car Guy, signing out. Thanks for listening to Shop Talk Live. For more episodes, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Tools Garage. Remember, drive safe and stay tuned for more. Until next time, I'm Dave the Car Guy, signing out.